This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to lockdown coverage. Week number 6 in the National Football League. Buffalo Bills at home taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Colin Kaepernick getting his first start of the season. And I thought he looked pretty good. I mean, aside from passing the ball, we'll get to that a little bit later on, but he's going to make a difference, I think, with this offense. And I'll tell you why a little bit later on as we get into this breakdown. But first and foremost, before we jump into anything, welcome to the Louie Tee Network and subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content in 2016 and beyond. If you haven't already done so, we changing the game over here, man. I want you to be a part of it. So come on. If you haven't done so already, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content. Also, I'm on Twitter. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Go ahead, give me that follow. I'm also on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead, give me that thumbs up and that like. If you happen to be on Twitter watching this live on YouTube, go ahead, use the hashtag LouieTeeLive to have your comment read at the end of this breakdown. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're in the chat discussion box, go ahead, use the hashtag LouieTeeLive, and I'll read your comment at the end of this breakdown. So, with that said, this was a beatdown. And it actually was competitive for most of the game. Got out of control in the fourth quarter, but nonetheless, still an ass whooping. And you know I handle ass whoopings a little bit differently than I do competitive football games. So, as I always do with beatdowns and ass whoopings, I tell you what I saw from afar. Okay? So, this isn't a likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe breakdown. This is what I saw from afar. So, I'm going to give you what I saw from afar with the winning team first, because, look, to the winners go the spoils. To the victor goes the spoils. We start with an ass whooping. You start with the team that did the ass whooping, not the ass whoopee, okay? So, we're going to start with the Buffalo Bills in this game, and this is what the Bills signed up for. The first thing I wrote down, this is what the Bills signed up for when they traded for Shady McCoy. I call it the Shady effect, all right? This guy has been so money for them over the last 3 weeks. And really, if you want to take it a step further, you could say over the life of this 4-game winning streak. They start the season 0-2. They get rid of their offensive coordinator. And all of a sudden, what do you know? Shady McCoy starts getting the football and everything is better. Makes perfectly good sense to me. He's the most dynamic player you have on your football team. By far the best player you have on your offense. And not only does he make everyone else around him better, he makes Tyrod Taylor better. And that's what I call the Shady effect. Because now Tyrod Taylor, his threat of his legs now become even greater with the threat of Shady's legs. Now that you can do some of the things you do with LeSean McCoy, it opens up avenues for you to run with Tyrod Taylor, who has been gashing defenses the last month over this winning streak. He's becoming better, and because you can't be too aggressive, now he has space to throw the football. And it's amazing what happens when you can run the football as effectively as the Bills have over the last month. They still are lacking big-time targets at the receiver position, and yet they're getting it done. They put up 45 on the San Francisco 49ers, and they're still missing any kind of big-time talent at receiver, which speaks volumes as to how effective they've been offensively because of this Shady effect. 3 rushing touchdowns for him in this last game versus the 49ers. He was dominant. He ran all over them, much like he ran all over the Los Angeles Rams. He's been absolutely lights out the last month over this winning streak. And ever since they made the switch at offensive coordinator, he's gotten the football in between the tackles, and that has made all the difference in the world. This Bills defense is back from the dead. That's the next thing I wrote down. They gave up some yards rushing the cap. I will say that, but a lot of teams are going to give up some yards rushing the Cap. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but this Bills defense is legit. They shut down the run. Bills, in a couple of instances in this game, 49ers had 4th and 1, 3rd and shorts, and they weren't allowing it. They just weren't having it. They did have one defensive breakdown, allowing Torrey Smith to get behind them. And actually, if Cap was accurate, there were some other plays that could have been made in this ball game with receivers getting behind their coverage. But that being said, they're getting after the quarterback. They're forcing the issue. They're hitting. They're getting off the field on 3rd downs. They're making plays. This Bills defense is back. And this is what we were expecting when Rex Ryan took over. A ferocious defense that was going to fly to the football, a lot of hats to the ball, moving around, making things happen, different playmakers every week. One week it's Lorenzo Alexander getting 2 or 3 sacks. The next week it's Preston Brown. The next week after that it's the other Brown or Smith or what. You got so many guys out there making plays. It's Zach Brown one week, it's Preston Brown the next week, it's Lorenzo Alexander, it's the secondary making plays, Roby Coleman. You name it, these guys are doing it. It's really fun to watch them fly around on defense right now. They're back from the dead and fully alive. Last but not least, the Bills are legit. And I don't know if anybody thought they weren't legit, but I'm here to tell you this 4-game winning streak is for real. And they beat some teams that we don't really know what they are. It doesn't matter. Okay? Rams, they went over there and beat them. Cardinals came to their place, they beat them. 49ers, beat them. Okay? They're taking care of business. They're doing a number on that AFC West right now. 3 of their 4 games in this 4-game winning streak are against the AFC West. But doesn't matter. They're taking care of business. And I love that about the Bills right now. It's going to be very interesting to see when they get back into their conference how they handle business. But one thing's for sure, this Bills team is legit. If they can continue to run the football, any team that can run the ball the way that they're running it, not turn it over, and do the things that they've done defensively, you're going to win a bunch of ball games in this league. And right now, the Bills are doing all of the things that you need to do to win games in this league on a consistent basis. And you don't see a lot of teams running it the way the Bills are running it right now. But I tell you what, they've got a dynamic offense with a lack of huge playmakers in the at the receiver position. They've got a really good mix of run-pass option with Shady back there in the backfield and Tyrod Taylor, who can also hurt you with his legs as well as his arms. So really like what they're doing with this football team right now. They're legit, folks. The Bills are here to stay, and they're going to compete in that AFC East, believe it or not. Patriots won't run away with this division. The Bills will be right there, and they're going to make them work for it. They may not win the division. They're going to make the Patriots work. I can assure you of that. Barring any catastrophic injuries, we know Shady McCoy not averse to getting hurt, missing some games. He got injured in this game, as a matter of fact, or hurt in this game, was able to come back and dominate in the second half after going down with a late first half injury. Tyrod Taylor not adverse to going down and missing a few weeks with an injury. So keep an eye on those guys. They're the 2 big cogs that make that offense go. If they stay healthy, the Bills are going to be a dangerous football team for the remainder of the season. Let's get to the 49ers in this game. One of my pet peeves, teams that are struggling on the season, as the 49ers are at 1-4, you don't have anything to lose. So on your first possession of the game, you drive it all the way to the Bills' 41-yard line. Don't punt on 4th and 2. What are you doing? You're 1-4, okay? Let me repeat that. You're 1-4. You got a drive going. It's 4th and 2. You don't punt from the 41-yard line of the Buffalo Bills on 4th and 2. You're 1-4. You go for it. That's a pet peeve of mine. Scared money don't make money. What do you think? You're going to punt the football away and play sound defense? Your defense stinks. Okay? You punting the football away isn't going to make one bit of difference. They're just going to gut you with Shady McCoy like everybody else does on the ground. Your run defense stinks. So you punting the football on 4th and 2 from the 41-yard line of the Buffalo Bills makes absolutely 0 sense. Cap misses a couple of open receivers early in this ballgame. On the first possession, Torrey Smith is open deep. He misses him. Would have been a touchdown. On the second possession, after a forced fumble, the Bills give it up. You get an opportunity to get a short field. Great play by Eric Armstead to knock that football away. Gets in the backfield immediately, hits Tyrod Taylor as he's handing the football off. Ball is jarred loose and pounced on by his ex-Oregon teammate, Buckner, DeForest Buckner, who recovers the fumble. So great play there. Gives the 49ers a short field. You'd love to have seen them take advantage of this with a touchdown. And they had an opportunity. Down the sidelines is Drone, the running back. Sean Drone, wide open on a wheel route up the sideline. He's got the Bills defender beat by a step and a half, maybe even two, and Cap just overshoots him. I think these are all things that he'll get better at, because remember, when you're the backup, you're not getting any reps. You're not getting any reps in practice. All the reps are going to the starter. He hasn't been working with these guys. I'm going to tell you what, it was windy in Buffalo. It was very windy. Now, Cap throws a tight spiral, and we know he's got a cannon for a right arm. So if anybody can cut through that wind that was howling in Buffalo, it'd be Colin Kaepernick. That being said, he just missed. He missed on a couple of throws in this game, and I expect him to get better. As time passes, he gets more reps. He's going to be better as a passer. I was actually quite surprised at how well he managed this offense, and his athleticism hasn't left him. I didn't know if he still had the ability to make guys miss and run past. The acceleration is still there. He's still dynamic as a runner. That's going to help them down the line. And that's my next point that I had. Cap's athleticism is an upgrade over Blaine Gabbert. Because with Blaine Gabbert, you weren't really afraid of him pulling the football out. When he pulled it out on read option, you're like, oh, go ahead, knock yourself out. Now, if Cap pulls that out and you don't have contain on the outside, you're in trouble. He was gashing the Bills in this game. And his arm and his accuracy is going to get better. I promise you. He's going to be better. I don't know if he'll ever return to the Cap of old. I'm not saying that. I don't know if that guy's ever coming back again. But I will tell you this. The athleticism is still readily available and apparent. And the guy can still sling at a mile. And if he gets more reps, and he gets comfortable in this Chip Kelly offense, he could be a problem moving forward. I'm going to be watching him rather closely, because I'm anxious to see if he's able to grasp this offense and start to become more accurate as a passer within the confines of this offense and still be able to do the things he did with his legs in this ball game. If he can do that, I think he's going to open up rushing lanes for Carlos Hyde, because now, as a backside defender, you got to stay at home. You can't just crash down on Carlos Hyde, because you got to respect the legs of Colin Kaepernick. And if Cap can hold those defensive ends honest, it's going to open up some big rushing lanes. I feel like as this season progresses and teams have to respect Colin Kaepernick's athleticism, Carlos Hyde is going to be the biggest benefactor of that. And he was out in this game, and they were giving a little bit more carries to the rookie Mike Davis out of South Carolina. I don't know if there's anything to that or not, but on a critical 4th and 1 in this game, critical 3rd and 1 in this game, same possession, same set of downs, Mike Davis was in the game, not the guy that we all expect to be in critical situations like that. And I don't know if that's something that we need to keep an eye on or not, but that's something that I'm going to be keeping a little bit of an eye on, because you expect them to have their bell cow in the game at that time, and they didn't have Carlos Hyde in, and I don't know why. I can't really explain why, but he wasn't in on a crucial 3rd and 1, wasn't in on a crucial 4th and 1, and they didn't convert. Where's the run defense at? You've been spending all these resources up front on both the Oregon guys, on Quentin Dial. Where's the run defense at? This run defense is porous. Everybody's running a football on you, and you're not stopping anybody from gutting you. And this defense isn't that bad, but if teams can run on you, you don't stand a chance. So that's really my biggest gripe with them right now is, why can't you stop the run? Is it the linebackers not filling correctly? Is it this D-line? Are they not good enough? What's going on? I can't say that I'm paying close enough attention to the actual problem. And maybe if I did, I'd be able to diagnose it a little bit better. But fact of the matter is, every 49ers game I watch, this team is getting gutted right up the middle of their defense with the run, and it's affecting their defense and how they call games. And we watched Arizona gut them last week. We watched the Bills gut them this week. They were gutted the week before by Seattle. They're having trouble stopping the run, and it's a big, big problem for the 49ers right now. And those are all my observations. That's what I saw from afar. Bills throttle the San Francisco 49ers 45-16. This game was close. You wouldn't even have known that this was a one-score game in the fourth quarter, 24-16. I mean, this thing got out of hand in a hurry. You get a touchdown by Shady, the ensuing kickoff. You get a fumble by the kick returner. The very next play, you get a touchdown to Robert Woods. And just like that, you go from 24-16 to 38-16 in the blink of an eye. The Bills would later tack on another touchdown and wipe them out off the scoreboard, essentially. Wipe them off the map, 45-16. They go to 4-2, 4 straight wins for this Bills team that is red hot right now, and only a game out of first place. And keep in mind, I understand it, no Brady, they still have beaten the Patriots once already, and now the Patriots have to come to Orchard Park to see the Bills later on in the season. That should be a doozy there. Meanwhile, San Francisco 49ers 1-5 on the season. It's going to be tough sledding for them, but at least there's a reason to watch 49ers football now. There's hope. Maybe Colin Kaepernick could come back and be the guy that he once was and help them solve one of the many problems on this 49ers team. There are plenty of holes. One seems like quarterback right now. Maybe he can plug up one of those holes and allow them to address some other areas as they approach next offseason. Let's jump into the comments for this game. What's up, BE? BE says, Shady got the revenge he wanted versus Chip Kelly. He's been waiting on that for a while, and he got it. He says, hey, Lou, what are your thoughts on doing a fantasy football league next season? I got a number of thoughts on different things. You guys will hear about it soon enough. B says, if the Cards win tonight, do you see them making a push for the NFC West? The question is, how good are the Seahawks? I haven't watched that game yet, but I don't know, because that would put you 2 games back of first place. But your problem is you got to be better within the division. You beat the 49ers. You lost to the Rams. You still got the Seahawks twice. And I believe you got a big Sunday night football matchup with them next week, if I'm not mistaken. So if you were planning on making a push, need to win tonight, that would set up a big matchup next week on Sunday Night Football. Captain Spartan 04 says, are the 49ers already ready for the 2017 draft? Well, you know I don't like talking about the draft and this early in the season. I don't like talking about the draft in season, period. That being said, they're not going to win a ton of games this year. But I don't know if they're necessarily looking forward to the draft already. There's still a lot of football left to be played. And there's guys that you got to figure out, because this roster isn't chock full of talent. You need to figure out who can play, who can help, and who can't, so you can start shedding yourself of dead weight so you know exactly what you need heading into offseason and the draft. So, no, it's not time to look to the draft yet, because you got a bunch of guys on this roster that you need to figure out, can they help us or not? If they can't, get rid of them. If they can, keep them around, and we need to start filling out this roster with talented football players that can help us moving forward. Vincent Coe says, big fan of you, man. Your channel is lit. Probably the best football channel on YouTube. Let's get it, Lou. Hey, I appreciate that, Vincent. I really do. Off topic, he says, but can you do some coverage on underrated rookies after next year's draft? Maybe. I'll see. It's always busy around that time. Hard to pick out the underrated guys in a draft. But I do talk about guys like Roger Lewis was a guy that I was on last year, went undrafted. And he's on the Giants roster, just scored his first NFL touchdown. I mean, I talk about some of these guys sometime. The most talk you'll get from underrated guys probably be around the combine time. When I talk about a lot of the guys that I see at the combine, that's when you'll probably get that. BE says, our next 3 games, including today's game against the Jets, Seattle, and Carolina. Yeah, I know that there's some big games there, but the biggest one there is the next one, which is the Jets tonight. Can't talk to me about the next couple of games if you don't take care of the Jets tonight. Beat them first, and then we can talk about how big of a matchup Sunday Night Football is versus the Seahawks after you take care of business tonight versus a lowly and bad Jets football team. So there you have it. Bills take care of business like they're supposed to at the crib. take the winning streak to 4 games. Shady McCoy out of his mind right now. 3 touchdowns in this game, continues his tear as the Bills beat the San Francisco 49ers 45-16. That's going to do it for your man Louie Tee here on Lockdown Coverage. If it happens in the National Football Team, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Man, I'm excited for the 49ers. I don't really have much invested stake in the 49ers this season. They stink. But Colin Kaepernick gave me a reason to want to tune into 49ers football. He looks like a guy that can help this offense. If he can get his accuracy back, if he can get his timing down with these receivers, if he can get a semblance of what Chip Kelly wants to do in this offense. I saw flashes in this game. His athleticism is there. It's just as good as it was when he took this team to the Super Bowl in 2012 and back to the NFC Championship game in 2013. The guy still can motor. Now it's all about accuracy. If he can get that back, look out. Colin Kaepernick may be back on the rise in San Francisco. I will see you guys later. Oakland Raiders in the game. The City Chiefs coming down the pipeline in a little bit. See you then.